IP and technology, and how they cross paths through contract and what needs to be protected exactly. The focus area is going to be development contracts. In the last decade, what we have seen is that digital transformation has really taken over our lives. From information technology being an independent sector, it has penetrated across all types and nature of industry. What it has really done is that it has created a dependency in a good way, where we cannot achieve really the speed, the growth, the outreach that it gives us without the use of this technology, right? Now, technology across all of these sectors is being used in different forms. It could be, for R&D, it could be for, marketing, it could be for banking, finance, it could be for, anything across. What all of what the use of all of this technology tells us is that it is both essential to the development of a product as well as delivery of a service. Now, the moment that these two aspects uh, are being governed by the use of technology, it becomes important for us to create that intrinsic value in the IP, because that is what goes into brand development and brand building. How do we then protect? How do we then protect the use of IP, and how do we specifically enable the companies not only in terms of branding of the products but in terms of delivery of service, where they are using this technology and they want to own the propriety of this technology, right? The essentials, right? The essentials that every development contract that must cover. I mean, whether it be software development, it could be process, it could be proprietary workflow, it could be UI UX design, etc. Any nature or type of development that you are outsourcing or that you are developing in-house, or you are engaging vendors for, there are several essentials that need to be taken care of in a contract. The first, of course, that we really do when we engage vendors or when we want to undertake a development work, whether it is for development of a software or a process or a proprietary workflow or a UI UX design, etc. A development contract must contain, several essentials. The first, the entire intellectual property that is being developed, whether it is an invention, whether it is development, whether it is design. You must identify list. Until and unless the IP is not completely outlined, it's not in a watertight compartment, you cannot protect it, because whatever falls outside is somebody else's idea then. Hence, there are softwares, there are processes. All of these need a certain kind of development. You may be developing it in-house or you may be outsourcing it. Either way, your contract should cover some basic essentials everywhere that there is an idea and there is a propriety that needs to be protected. So the first aspect is to outline the IP, outline the invention, outline the development, outline the design, outline the work product, identify every aspect of intellectual property that is going or that is being developed for the project, and list it down. Whatever you create as a watertight compartment is what you can claim ownership over. The second is that all of the IP, and specifically where the IP is, where all of the development is being outsourced and is being developed by somebody else for you or your company, is that you must definitely have all of the intellectual property assigned to yourself, right? So there must be a complete transfer of ownership and IP, because very simply, what you don't own, you cannot grant, or you cannot sublicense, or you cannot protect, right? Because you don't own it. You have no proprietary claim over it. Second, since these are development contracts, right, you must outline the entire project, the deliverables, the timelines for it. What usually happens is that technology companies or development companies that are whether in the form of design or R&D or any other proprietary workflow that they are developing for you are extremely overloaded because of the whole digital transformation that this country is going through right now. What essentially it does for you once you outline the project and the timelines is that you are able to accordingly incentivize or disincentivize the entity or the vendor who is developing the project for you, right? Because until and unless the product is not delivered to you on time, or until and unless the service that you are developing or the process that you are developing is not delivered to you on time, you cannot meet your business timelines, right? And very simply, time is money. Second, um, when the development or when the project is being developed, you must have a list of softwares or open source softwares that your developers are going to be specifically using for the development of the project, right? What you must do next is to identify the embedded softwares, because no software developer or no development contract actually starts from scratch. There are several limbs and joints that are already available to developers, and all they need to do is start building on those foundations, right? Moving on to the next, there are several defects, errors that do turn up when there is a development that is taking place. Please identify the errors. There will of course be ample clauses around UATs, integrations, etc. However, until and unless you have not specifically defined errors or defects or what they comprise of in the contract, there is little that you can call out on the developer, right? And these are also in a way interlinked to the development phases, because this delays the milestones or delivers as per the milestones. Also, this goes into building the incentives and disincentives that I was previously talking about. Next, warranty. Your development, because it is so exclusive to you and because it has been commissioned by you, it must definitely carry a warranty, right? Because if the developer has developed something for you, it must run efficiently, it must achieve the targets that you had set out for it to achieve for that X amount of time, right? Um, I mean, this is also very, very basic to electronics. This is basic to life, that everything that we buy today does come with a warranty. However, when it comes to development contracts, there is a step further that we must definitely go with. That while warranty lasts only for a specific time period, and especially in case of software development contracts, previously it used to be 8 months, a year, or more. These days, developers do not agree to anything more than 3 to 6 months. That is to the tops, right? What kicks in after 3 to 6 months is the support services. And again, this is something which is essential for us as a company as well as for the developer, because of course the developer is making a lot of money out of the support services. For us, what it does is that it continues to handhold us till the time that our in-house technology teams get a hang of the product, get a hang of the integrations, and get a hang of all of the testing that they have been doing on the proprietary workflow, on the technology, on the software, on the process day in and day out, right? For example, even as basic as a CRM, which is a customer relationship management, right? There could be items and intents that have been defined by the technology provider based on your requirement, but because of the changing environment, customers may be coming up with new sets of queries. And again, those items are not indented into your software, right? How do you take care of those? You get the support services. Even if your internal IT team is able to develop those indents, quickly, there will still be some sort of support that you will continue to need in order to deploy all of those developments, right? So support services is extremely essential. It may not necessarily be part of your development contract. It is, however, a standalone support services agreement that goes on for 5 years, 10 years, for however long that you want it to run. Okay. Like we were discussing previously, Open source softwares are softwares that usually developers deploy or usually developers use because they already have those set of foundations available, right? Uh, it saves you the time and energy for delivery of the product or the service. However, we as entities don't realize is that it is a license. It is not a freeware. It is an open source software. However, it is only a license. It is not a freeware that you can just use however you want to without any consequences. Because it is a license, it comes with propriety of the person who had developed the open source software, right? An example of this is Linux. So if you are indeed using Linux, one of the terms and conditions of Linux is that if you have used Linux and you have modified it and you have used it in your work so that you can commercialize your work, right? You must definitely publish the source code. Now, what does that do for us? What it puts us into jeopardy with is the source code, because that is my property. That is the premium that I have paid to my developer for that development, right? However, it is now available in the public because of the terms and conditions of the open source software. How must I then take care of it? How must I mitigate this, etc.? Do the due diligence, right? This is not something that as lawyers you will be able to do independently, or that you will even be aware of, because these form part of disclosures. A lot of development companies may not even disclose it completely. Even if they do, you must, at second level, once it is disclosed, go through all of the terms and conditions, because the moment that there are such terms which put your software into jeopardy, or in any form of ownership risk or infringement, or vitiates your warranty or kicks in any indemnities that you may have from the developer, um, that is what will need to be protected, right? That is what you will need to mitigate upfront by going through the terms of the open source software, or kicks in any indemnities that you may have from the developer. um, that is what will need to be protected, right? That is what you will need to mitigate upfront by going through the terms of the open source software. So beware, be cautious, and make sure that your development contract is framed in such a way that it gives you more benefit than it gives you um, room to create a dispute over, or gives the developer room to create a dispute, because this is exactly where developers get away with all of your refund money, because all of your deposit money, because it is not refundable. So good luck with framing such contracts. Be wary again, and thank you.